Hello my friends, how we doing today? I'm really excited to talk to you about some Superman comics. I got right here Emperor Joker. I picked up the deluxe hardcover of this a while back and finally got around to rereading this story. I haven't read it for, oh god, I don't know, feels like 20 years. But this is the dust jacket here. I saw two covers available. I don't know what was the variant and what was the standard one because I was just picking this book up online. But I went with this cover because I thought it was really radical and I'd never seen this one before, whereas the other cover is just a regular cover that we're going to find in this book. But this is what the book looks like right here. It's got this really cool pattern on it. I like that. Just gonna set the dust jacket aside. I really do like that art piece though. That's really cool where we got all the playing cards there with the characters on them and Joker looking just so spiffy. But this is a fantastic story with a bunch of different writers from all the Superman books working together to tell a wacky tale with all these various characters. And you can see right here just on this opening page here with all the credits, like we got a ton of people working on it, like writers and artists. Let me just zoom that in there for you. So like big ball of creative talent there, really cool. And a number of these characters or these writers and artists I know from other stuff too and really like them. But this is a great spread here and it shows our villainous cast, but it also shows off a little bit of the gutter loss we deal with throughout this book here. This is the very beginning of it. There's a fun little foreword here, and I'm mainly just going to be talking about this story and how much I love all the artwork in it. But all the different covers for this book are various playing cards styled there, so very fun. And it just opens up. And I love that it flips it around too, and we get the credits there. However, what I don't like about this book, and I will specify, is this is 4 separate titles. All crossing over together, 4 monthly titles crossing over together for 2 months to tell a really cool, fun story. But in this collection, it doesn't specify what issue is of what story. So if you're just reading it like this, it all kind of reads lumped together, and it works great as a story. But it doesn't identify which issue is which. But it just has this cold open of Superman's locked up in this prison cell. He's not looking quite right, but he's being a badass. And this opening page here is so cool with him just busting those chains. And I love how we get the mad, mad, mad world there title, but we get the Mad Magazine logo font up there. Real fun. But Superman's just breaking out of this prison, and we don't know what's going on, but we see that Bizarro's being called. Bizarro's such a kick in this book. I like this too. They have these little playing card page spacers because, of course, when you have the double page spreads and things, you need them to be on the right page, so you need something to space it out. But we get so much good, fun action in here. Very cartoony, so good, so fun. I love this so much. That is just so cool. Bizarro's so goofy and fun in this book. Like, you can tell everyone is just having a blast with writing this thing. But you can also see, just with how I'm having to hold the book here, if I let it go, the page kind of curls up a little. So, I've only fully read through this book once, and I leafed through it when I first got it. But maybe it'll fold out and spread better after maybe 2 more readings, but this is how it's looking right now. But everything's kind of flipped topsy-turvy, and we don't know what's going on, but we just found out that Superman's been in prison for murdering a guy named Lex Luthor, and it turns out Lois Lane right here is being more like a Lex Luthor type of character. And in this universe, she's his arch nemesis. And this is great here. I love this gag with Jimmy Olsen as Bizarro's best friend in this weird, strange universe we find ourselves in. And he's Gravedigger Lad. But everything's absolutely nuts. Aquaman is a fish dude who lives on the land. Like, everything is just not how you expect it. I love this here with bald Lois and her row of wigs. And then we get to this issue right here, and we find out, well, what really happened is, we see Mr. Mixelplixik, or however you want to say his name. There's this fun gag of him running around and trying to go warn somebody about something, but heavy things keep falling on him first. But the main gag that gets revealed a little bit further into the story is that Joker has gotten a hold of Mixelplexic's powers and has the reality-altering dimensional powers, and so he's become ruler of the universe, the Emperor Joker. And he's shifted everything to being bizarre. Like right here we have the JLA, and it's headed up by all these villains. And, some people we know, like here we got Poison Ivy. But I love this guy here, Ignition. This big old hulking robot dude. He's great. And this gal here, Gorgeous Gilly. She's so fun. She's the ugly, grossest woman you can possibly think of, like a rotting zombie woman. But she has pheromone powers to make people fall in love with her. Which is a bit redundant with Poison Ivy there, too. Come to think of it, but oh, this gag with Turtle Man biting Jimmy Olsen. This story is just absolutely unhinged. It's ridiculous, and I love it. This is comics in its purest form. It's just telling an absolutely wild story that would not generally work in a different medium, and having a blast with it. And every single issue has a good amount of action. So like if you were picking this up back in the day and just reading it every week, picking up an issue, and you're getting a good chunk of story that might not make sense, but there's a whole lot of fun going on. Like right here, the issue ends with Superman being eaten by giant Jimmy Olsen turtle. This next issue opens up, and I love this bit. It's just Superman getting hosed off because they're cleaning him up because he made his way through the. He made his way through. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, this story is so much fun. The artwork is very exciting throughout, although we're dealing with various artists. None of the art really clashes with itself. So you don't jump from one issue to the next and feel like there's a big shift. They all have unique styles, but it feels cohesive, as does the writing. You can definitely tell a little bit of a shift in tone with the different issues from issue to issue, but nothing feels out of place or out of sync. The story flows good as far as one point moving to the next. Nothing. Well, there are some things that are unexplained, but all the unexplained things feel intentional, and nothing ever happens that really contrasts or contradicts the previous issues, which I very much enjoy. And the few bits that you could say do that, I would say are actually narratively intentional because of the reality-altering plot going on. But yeah, this gig with Mixie here is so fun. And I like how they switch between his different looks, too, between the beginning and the end of the book. And I love this bit too with the hair just changing every single time because you got a different wig going. This issue right here, I remember being the weakest issue from the read through, from my feeling. I don't feel it really added too much except for introducing some stuff here, but man, this book gets so good later. But oh yeah, see, like, look at her. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm being a little too hard on this issue because this gag right here is so funny. With just devoting a whole page to that. It's just so gross. It's already gross, but like, ugh. But I just I thought the Superboy stuff felt a little flat. I guess it's a world building, but it didn't really help. He does come into play later in the story, but I don't feel it really added too much. But maybe that's just because it's getting in between all this good action. Because I mean, come on, look at that. Yeah, that's so cool. And look at how beat up he's looking here. And I should point out that it seems in this universe, Superman is not not quite as powerful as we remember him being. Or I should say, he doesn't remember himself being as powerful. Because bits of his old power keep creeping through. And here he's finally broken into the JLA watchtower and released a prisoner that's being held. And it's Mixie here, who reveals the whole plot of everything's gone crazy because the world's crazy. The Joker took my power and I'm locked up. And you might be saying, well, okay, that's pretty nuts. But where is the Joker? We haven't seen him. Yeah, that's because it's been kind of building up to this reveal. So you could say it's like a third of the story we get through before we actually see any Joker action. And I love this cover here with the Joker and Mixel just getting at each other. But now we're getting the full reveal of what's going on with the Joker and all this craziness. Look at that. How much fun is this building? So nuts. And here we get that spread that we saw earlier. And so very cool. We get our full cast of villainous characters. Well, not full cast, but we see quite a bit more. And I love the fact that we get the court gesture to the Emperor Joker is Lex Luthor. Which everyone thinks he's dead. But he ain't dead. He's just kind of locked up here as a prisoner of sorts. I love the goofy helmet that we got there too with the little point. And I should point out, I ain't said nothing yet, but if you don't know nothing, this ain't the current Supergirl. This is the old Supergirl, if you remember her. The 90s one. What was it, Matrix? She got like the angel powers, which is why her Bizarro alternate is a demon up in here. But oh, this bit is so funny. Not funny, but just, well, you know, it's Joker funny. But Joker being the emperor he has Chinese for dinner. Literally, he ate all of China. It's absolutely terrible. But such a good bad gag. I love it. This is a cool spread, but does a really good job of illustrating the type of gutter loss you'll see on this. Like, you know, you're missing just the tiniest bit. It's a little bit cleaner if you really stretch it out and flatten it, but yeah, it's going to kind of go in on itself. But you're not really missing too much. As far as a smaller hardbound book goes, this has pretty good like page layout. I'm not really missing too much art, and we don't get any word bubbles that get obstructed, so that's very important. I cannot stand a book where you get the word bubbles mixed up. But here we got them trying to recruit the Justice League, who are now known as villains, and we get this full page showing everybody, and it's absolutely ridiculous, given their origins and stories. You know, you got your Aquaman, who's a fish that lives on the land. You got your Wonder Woman, who's like super homemaker. You got the world's fastest fat man. I like how Martian Manhunter is just the Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes. Plastic Man's all about credit cards. It's so dumb. And I thought it was kind of funny that for this one here, for Green Lantern, because it says everyone's a hero name up top. It says Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, but then down here in the box it says Kyle Rayner. So a little bit of a screw up there, and that stood out to me. But this is fun. I like how Joker's playing cards with all the dead Robins. It's just terrible. But I have a page bookmarked here because I wasn't sure if I was going to flip through literally every single page, or just kind of flip through a bunch and talk. And I guess I decided on flip through every page as I go through it, because why not? Look at all this artwork. It's just sick. Like that's why you watch a video like this anyhow, ain't it? Not to hear me yammer on. I'm just yammering for fun. But look at this. Awesome double page spread. Again, you're missing a tiny little bit with that bump out, and you could say maybe that's because of the bookmark right there, but if I move that up forward, you still see it's kind of... But all the same, really cool page. And then we get to this page here, which just is one of my absolute favorites. I laugh so much at this, where we get this page of Darkseid addressing the Quintessence and him talking about the imminent threat of this Joker and what could happen if he realizes his power and potential, and that they need to authorize him to let him do what he needs to do to Earth. And then their response is just a bunch of "What's up?" And you realize, oh no, it's too late. And then we get this page of the Joker just comically making Darkseid his bitch. As he's floating there as like the demonic star child. It's just hilarious. That made me laugh so much. Like, I'm just sitting in my room by myself with this book and got the tunes on. I'm just like cracking up. So good. But here we got Superman explaining to the JLA, or I should say the villainous JLA, because the Joker has his own JLA right now. But he's talking to the ex-heroes, telling them about how he is and how things used to be and what their potential could be. And as he does, we see the art slowly shifting and his colors are changing back, because he's been rocking that really sleek looking black and white suit, but now it's in color. And then the next thing you know, all our old heroes are looking how they used to, how we know them, and they remember. And I thought that was real cool. They're able to break through the Joker's shenanigans. And we get this great gag here where the Joker just keeps murdering Lex Luthor. So terrible. That's a cool cover too. I like that a lot. So very cool. I love this with the mutant Joker fish all over in the water. And we get this bit right here with Superman zapping all the piranhas. But he's got to be thinking to himself like, man, I hate killing things. But it's a good thing, you know, these things are evil and not real. But we got to make that distinction and remind everybody, you know, Superman don't like killing a thing. And him zapping some deadly fish ain't that bad. I mean, heck, I eat fish. But yeah, I love how all the different mechs look in this. And the Lois robots are really cool. I love this group of bad guys. They're so much fun. Like, that's the best part about this book is reading through the whole thing. I'm having fun the entire time. The plot's absolutely not so fun. It's just wild. It's all over the place. This page I absolutely love in particular, where we have Lois and this big robot just embracing and hugging Superman and them making out. And I don't know why, but just the gag of her being bald like Luthor and switching wigs in every issue is just so funny to me. And the image of her with that pink wig there is just something else. And this Joker tower, so cool. I love how just like powerful Superman looks right here, just flying, like just zooming up, flying through, like boom. That is Superman, and he is gonna be kicking some ass. I love the fights between him and Bizarro, and it's so much fun. Like Bizarro stopping fight with Ignition. Yes, Bizarro wants to fight Superman, you know, because yeah, Ignition forget now. Bizarro #1 get to keep Superman alive. He's got because he's got to be the one to kill him. That's what gets me. The dialogue with Bizarro is so ridiculous and fun in this book. Just absolutely wild. Every issue has me laughing. It has tons of action. The artwork looks great, and all the dialogue is fitting and on point. It's just awesome. And of course, you know, Batman's got to show up because it's a Joker story. I love this page here with the little cherubs. You got the little Superman one and the little Joker one, and we got our angelic Supergirl. So I love this gag where the Joker saying it's just written on her face that she's in love with Superman, because you know she's been playing both sides. She's also been working with the Joker because she's the Lex Luthor of this universe. She's evil, but we see right there it's literally written on her face. It just cracked me up. Hold it up to the camera so you can see it a little better. Oh yeah, that just make me laugh so much. I love this bit too where they find themselves in hell and they see that hell is even infected by the Joker's powers, and he's just talking about how there's hell in any and all realities, and in this one, he's just shaping himself to fit in and work with what's going on. So, makes sense. But, he says if they give him his soul, he might be able to help him out of this situation, send him to a different universe's hell. I don't know. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Should you make the deal with the devil? But yeah, man, Batman is dealing with some real awful stuff. The Joker has been non-stop using his dimensional powers to just torture Batman day and night. And Superman's trying to rescue him and get him out of a spot, but man, Joker ain't having it. And I love this interesting Enigma character, too, who's been floating around. And then, of course, at the end of the book, we find out that he's the Riddler, which ends up making sense, and he ends up playing a big, important part. I thought this was real creepy with the big floating mouth there. And then Joker deciding that, he's just going to destroy the universe. And then we get this big mirror breaking and everybody screaming and floating in it, and we've seen that image in comics before, very familiar to DC readers. And I love this right here where we just see the new universe, and here's Lois as the new Empress, and all the heroes are dumb animals. Like this book just goes nuts. Joker's a bad man. I love the dead Lex gag too. So funny. But awesome, fantastic, wonderful art. I'm having such a good time with this book. Again, it had been a long time since I'd read the story originally. Like, far, far too long. And this is, again, it's always funny when you go back and revisit these old comics and you find the interesting quirks of the time period that didn't quite last or hook on. Much like I was talking about earlier with the Supergirl that's featured in this book, there's also the fact that, there's the Spectre, who by all accounts is Hal Jordan right now, which is kind of funny. But even he's not immune to the powers of the Joker, and we see he gets infected by him as well. So the Joker's making himself so powerful, he's even infecting, like, dimensional reality type of entities, because as far as I know, the Spectre and things of that nature go a little bit beyond just the universes and like continuities and such. They're more like a constant, how you say? I don't know. But I love this bit here with them gaining their memories back after gaining hope and believing. And so now we got the full-on Justice League ready to kick some butt too and help Supes out. And this is what I'm talking about, you have a Joker in this with all his powers and everything. You gotta be having fun. And what's more fun than that t-shirt? But yeah, I love how it just opens or closes from the last issue of the Justice League going like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to help. And then the next issue opens and it's just all the Justice League having gotten their asses thoroughly kicked. Like, I wouldn't say the last issue lied to us, but it certainly led us towards a really funny gag. But yeah, everybody just getting their butts kicked, and I'm loving the Joker right here too. This is wonderful. Like, let's just zoom in and appreciate that. So fun. Yeah, we're getting towards the side of the book where I need to hold this side down now. But yeah, Lois, evil Lois is starting to have regrets about flipping on Superman and hooking up with Mr. Crazy here, because Mr. Crazy is so crazy that, you know, he's liable to do anything, even destroy the universe, which he insists he's going to do, which is not good for anybody. And this is real gnarly, where we find out the Joker's glued Batman's mouth together so he can't talk or say anything, but he's able to click his jaws together to speak in Morse code, which is absolutely crazy and totally a Batman thing I would buy, but and really freaking metal, but also just real fun and cool that Superman knows Morse code, because of course he would. And I love this with Lex. Like, he continues to be the best character through this book, but just like, it's because he's utilized so little. He's just sparsely put in here, and every bit he's in is just so much fun. And the gag of him just dying and resurrecting over and over is very fun. This gag is great too, where Harley is asking that when Joker destroys the universe and remakes it, if he can just save her, and because, you know, maybe everything she's done for him, you know, hasn't she earned that? And he just turns her into a bunch of stars. I just thought that was real fun. Yeah, that's the number one word for this book, is fun. The whole thing is just an absolute blast. It's visually appealing in every single issue. Doesn't matter what artist is working on it, because each one is just totally on fire. The writing is wonderful. And the plot is just so bonkers. Because now, how do you destroy this guy who says he's going to destroy the universe? This is so gross, too, where Superman just flies through him, shoot through him like a bullet. Like, look at that. He all exploded. Like, boom! Gnarly. He catches Lois. She starts reverting back to how she was before. But, of course, Joker's not actually dead. That just kind of took him out for a second. They get into a big old fight here. Real fun. And I love this bit right here. Ignition was such a fun character. And there's this fun gag and reoccurring theme throughout the book where Joker doesn't quite remember Ignition or where he came from, just that he's a badass. And right here we have popping out of his butt right there is Mixie. So they don't outright say it in the book, but it seems that the 1% of his power that he did have, he was using and running around as this guy too, which sort of works. But that's the one thing that bothered me about the book, was we get that gag of him popping out of his rear and us finding out that he was him. But the way the character talked before, he talked about serving a master, who had a higher power, and he wasn't talking about the Joker. He was referring to somebody else, making you think that maybe he was in league with Darkseid, or maybe there's something going on with Zod because he keeps mentioning something about kneeling. But, we never really get to it, and then he pops out himself. And so that dialogue never really worked with me. That's the one little thing that fell off reading the entire book. That and the little misprint where they labeled Hal Jordan while the character was Kyle Rayner. But other than that, this whole book was absolutely fun. I just had to point it out because we were literally on that page. And I've also, you don't really hear anybody talk about the character Ignition, but you never hear Ignition mentioned under Mixie either, where it's like he was the guy in the Ignition robot. So I don't know if that's a thing people talk about or acknowledge. But here we're getting a big brawl, and we're discussing the rules of the world, and that he makes all the rules. And we get this bit right here where Superman's kind of breaking it down to him. He's like, no, you don't. Actually, Batman does. Because you're friggin' obsessed with this dude. Everything you've done has been about him. And Joker tries with all his might, after Superman really gulls him, to erase Batman from everything. But the Joker can't do it because he's so obsessed with it that it's ingrained into him. He can't even make himself forget it, which was pretty funny, and it puts us into a little bit of a loop that breaks the cycle, and Mixie gets the powers back, things going a bit back to normal. But man, Batman is all screwed up. Bruce just saw a ton of terrible things. He went through a lot of trauma, and he can't take it. He was broken to the point where, he just saw things and felt things. He can't deal with it. He's ruined. It's rough. So they propositioned to him, well, that trauma, all those memories got to go somewhere. So Superman ends up taking them, and the whole thing gets wiped from Batman's memory. Which, that's what I don't get, is because nobody seems to really remember everything. But I guess since Batman was so involved in all the stuff going on, including the end of things switching over, that he remembered and retained things. But yeah, Spectre was able to do the big switch around for him, help him out. But now Superman's feeling really bummed. He's having a bad day because now he's dealing with all that Batman trauma. But that's nothing a little bit of time with his pretty lady can't fix, because him and Lois are the one true pairing of the DC universe. And I love this bit here where the Joker's left in Arkham Asylum, and he's just saying Emperor Joker over and over, but it's reversed backwards, kind of like Mixoplexig saying his name backwards. And then we zoom into his eyes, and we see the Spectre just kind of looming in there. So very cool, a whole lot of fun, great book. It gets a little bit dark in those last two issues with all the stuff that was going on with the Joker torturing Batman, and then the last issue where they discuss the trauma of it. But I would not say that bogs the issue down. And man, this page is so cool just looking at these pencils. That is awesome. They have the whole first issue of this book with just the pencils, and it looks so dope. Those, you can feel the power and energy of those chains breaking there. That is awesome. This is my favorite kind of special feature in a book. That is so awesome. Just getting to see the raw artwork like that is wonderful. I also enjoy when they put the scripts in there too, just to see how the writer actually writes the book and see what that process looks like on a page before it actually becomes a thing. But man, that's so cool. So what a great book. Like, non-stop action, a ton of levity and humor, an intriguing mystery that unfolds before you, because you just kind of go into this not knowing what's going on, and they intentionally have things kind of hanging to not make sense. And that's part of the fun, because everything's bizarre, strange, and topsy-turvy. I thought this was real cool too, with the flame breath instead of the cold. But yeah, really awesome. High praise, high recommendations. Just what a blast. This book didn't come out too long ago. The story and the issues themselves sure did, but this collection's like, what, half a year or so old. Well worth picking up. Superman Emperor Joker, the deluxe edition. Really cool. Check it out at your local whatever bookshop or buy it online. But you're going to have a blast with this if you like comic books, if you like DC stuff. You don't really need to know too much about any of the characters. Do you know who Superman is? Do you know who the Joker and Batman are? Are you familiar with the character of Steel? If you'll pick it up. And I think you should pick this up, because I had a blast with it, and you will too. So thanks for joining me, and I'll come back with you at another comic book review a little bit later.